peace broken, a war lost, a resource found. The past century has taken the Porcelain People in a strange, warlike direction, but a new ideology must now be chosen as the new century begins. The higher spirits in the YouTube comment section have provided them with Republicanism, and the leaders get ready to apply this new ideology to their domain. Republicanism, in its purest form, serves to oppose monarchy and totalitarianism by focusing on a rule by the masses, and believes that collective civil action is the only means to providing a common good throughout society. While Republicanism was the ideological force behind the French Revolution, as an ideology it is a little vague, and chances are that the first examples you thought of when you clicked this video were the American Republican Party or Roman Republicanism. The Republican Party is more focused on conservatism, so we can rule that out, but we will be taking a closer look at Roman Republicanism as it's closest to the current level of cultural development in a porcelain society. Now, Republican Rome was a tricky thing. Their fundamentals were based on an unwritten, ever-changing constitution, and this system that they used was mishmashed with other ideologies depending on what suited them best, and since Rome was getting its expansionist groove on, the quintessential idea of Roman Republicanism became an authoritarian, militaristic, borderline aristocracy. But that's not all. Roman Republicanism also brought some societal baggage with it. All you need to know is that the Roman Republic was divided into two social groups, the patricians and the plebeians, and it was ruled by two consuls, elected yearly by the military assembly. The Senate, composed of patricians, managed wealth and foreign policy, along with proposing laws to the consuls. With that in mind, the timeline ensues. As the Republic of Porcelain shifts into their new ideology, one might notice little difference in their new government. The rulers, after some internal debate, select two consuls to rule the entire republic, while the rest form the Senate. The Porcelain military receives a higher standing, as they now have a say in who gets elected. But aside from these changes, the general focus of the Porcelain government is no less militaristic than before, and for the average citizen in the capital, their lives are satisfactory. The same cannot be said for the colonies. They live their lives under the control of the capital, and to see this continue under yet another protectionist, authoritarian ideology only furthers their disdain. They begin looking at their ideology through a more Puritan lens. Republicanism should be ruled by the people, first and foremost, not an oligarchy that morphs under contemporary desires. The local tribunes, which are plebeian representatives, begin plotting their separation. 5 years later, and on a particularly misty night in the capital, some messages arrive from the seaside and hillside colonies. They are tired of capital rule, and have declared independence. The consuls discuss amongst themselves. Most of their labour force comes from these colonies. To suppress this rebellion would mean a disaster for the economy. Begrudgingly, they accept this separation, knowing that their unmitigated luxury will never be the same. A few days later, more messengers arrive, with economic terms for the capital to follow. As the territories already rely on each other for pottery, currency, bricks and metal, they have little choice but to retain trade relations. They also inform the consuls that the Outer Plains colony, which only exports cheap wheat, does not plan to separate, as it relies on the capital too much to fend for itself. The capital, with a mostly patrician population, now relies on an enclave 20 kilometers away for their labour force. It becomes clear to the capital government that imposing rule and maintaining supply lines over such a distance is quite slow, and this issue quickly becomes the talk of the town. The potter artisans, noticing this issue, have a breakthrough. Their wheels can be flipped on the side and easily propelled. If they attach something to this wheel, like a box or whatnot, then that box can be carried easily as well. Settling on a wooden design, the capital sees the invention of the handcart, allowing a caravan to carry 5 times the goods, and can even be used as a method of transport. The territory most affected by this advancement is the Hillside Republic, where the prime exports of brick and iron are difficult to cart over long distances. With the handcart, they can export more and begin seeing a profit. And with profit, they can afford pointier sticks. And with pointier sticks, they can afford to boss the others around. The Hillside Republic, with their newfound authority, sets up a checkpoint along the trade highway and begins taxing the traders that pass through their borders. The Seaside Republic catches on to this, and as revenge, artificially increase the exchange rate for seashells for the other territories, while keeping it at the same rate for themselves. The Hillside Republic catches on to their economic exploitation, and as revenge, impose a trade embargo on the Seaside Republic. Not long after, the Seaside Republic gives in, and the Hillside Republic is free to resume their practices. All the while, the capital loses its geopolitical advantage over the others, and falls into an economic slump, even being overshadowed by the Outer Plains colony, which due to the weakened power of the capital, easier access to resources, and outsourcing cheap labour to the Hillside colony, has become much more wealthy, and declares independence by the 80th year. The consuls, seeing how thoroughly the tables have turned, strip back government bureaucracy. Former senators and cleargymen now spend their days tilling soil, while their once vibrant economy stagnates. and when the centennial comes around again, there is no celebration. Few can afford to take a day off work just to see their ideology change to something else. The clergy makes a quiet procession to the temple to access the sacred realm of the YouTube comment section once again. There, the highest minds can choose a new ideology for the Porcelain People to follow, and the ideology with the most likes will be used for the next 100 years, greatly affecting the lives of the Porcelain People. So what ideology should they follow next? You decide.